Life, come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build a wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder. I can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black on firm, but we ain't all black.
Hey, y'all. It's your girl, Constance Carter. How you doing? Come on in. Come on in, everybody. Come on in and make yourself at home. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. It's like we at church today. Welcome once, welcome twice, welcome 3 times. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing tonight? I'm so excited to be here with my sisters, Miss Stay Hall and Miss April Sampay. Hey, sis.
Hey, sis.
Hey, hey, how y'all doing today?
Fair to Midland.
Fair. Oh, this fair to Midland, huh?
Magically delicious, blessed, and highly flavored.
Oh, I love it. So we want to welcome everybody in, and we want to know as you guys are coming in, because we have people that are watching from all over the world. Where are you guys hailing from? Are you guys, I know I'm in California. Stay, where are you at?
I am in the DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Okay, the Bible Belt. And what about you, Miss April Sampay?
I'm in the country over there.
Over there. By way of
the DMV, honey, DC.
Okay. And then I see Jania up in Mississippi. What's happening? Randy is in Atlanta. Who's that in Arlington? That's Regina Smith. That's in Arlington. What's up, Regina? Brooklyn in the house. Guess what? I'm gonna be in Brooklyn next week. My first time in DC. Yes. And so I'm looking forward to going out there to the East Coast to visit my friends. I'm gonna see you over there, April, right? I'm gonna see you out there.
Yes, you will. You all the way will. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. It's so funny. And then Dorothy is out of Tampa. What's up, BMF and T's? What's up? How y'all doing? And Black First B1 from Boston. What's up, Mike? Who's that? Willie from Cleveland, Ohio. What's happening, sir? Marcel from DC.
Give him some love. Give him some love.
Hey, Marcel from the DMV. Miss Gloria from Milwaukee. Hey. And Regina. Hey. How you guys doing? Okay. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to have this conversation. And I was reading the comments, and you guys are full of comments. They're full of comments before we even came on here. Right. And did you guys see some of the comments?
I did.
So somebody said, what kind of analogy is that? The transgender was drug-free, wasn't he? I think it's a she. See,
that's right. She.
Mm-hmm. What's the correlation between these two? She's taking accountability for her decision. So what's the problem? So people want to know what's the problem. And then Jacques said weed isn't illegal in all countries. Russia was banned as a country for doping. The Olympics is an international athletic organization. These two things have no connection. Logic standpoint of it. So we're talking about two very different things, right? So we're talking about the Olympics. We're talking about the Olympics.
Right. That's the thing. It's the Olympics and women in the Olympics.
Women in the Olympics. Some people question if some people are women, but for all intents and purposes, we're going to say women for sure, right? Because we don't want to offend anybody. But what are your thoughts about what happened to Miss Sha'Carri? Because I know I woke up one day on social media and everybody was giving her shouts out. Everybody was saying, that they should let her run. What is your thoughts on it, Miss Stay Hall?
Well, first of all, I was heartbroken. I was like, literally, when it came up on my phone that morning, like tears were welling up in my eyes. But she broke the rules. I mean, I understand that weed is legal in a lot of places. I understand that a lot of people think it's not that big of a deal, but I'm just a stickler for rules, and the rules are the rules. So as unfortunate as it is, I mean, she can't run. I was disappointed that even though after the 30-day suspension, because the Olympics has backed off, it went from like 2 or 4 years where you couldn't compete to now only 30 days. But then she didn't get picked for the 4x4 relay, which my heart was broken again. But again, I kind of get it because they want to give those girls who didn't break the rules a chance. So heartbroken, but I understand.
Okay. What about you, April? What do you think?
Okay, I know this is crazy. I'm scared. I agree. So the fact of the matter is, I'm from the DMV. Honey, you cannot walk down the street without smelling that good scent. I'm just saying, you just walk down Ponderosa and you smell it, right? So some people, they just can't help but, spark up a little bit. So I can't be, I look at her like, okay, I get it, sweetheart, if this is something that you're used to, but then, honey, you know the rules. You knew the rules when you started all this. When you started this process, you knew the rules. It's just the same as what is it when you get those shots? When the guys get those shots,
steroids.
The steroids. When you're doing the steroids, you know better. You shouldn't do it. It's something.
Right. But they're not enhancement drugs, though. You guys.
Right. And
it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, the rules.
It's the rules. Yeah, it's the rules. Mm-hmm. But the thing about this, what I was kind of joking about when with the steroids, which is performance enhancing, I'm like, she probably faster than we really know because she probably running a little slower.
Right.
Smoking that kush.
Right.
When you smoke a little bit, you eat a little bit more. So yeah, you get a little tired after you finish eating that big meal.
Well, she said, first of all, new world. What world do you live in? Talking about women should be at home anyway, not the Olympics anyway. He just we gave him his 2 seconds of fame.
I mean, we're real late on that because we've been in the Olympics for how long?
Yeah, he tripping. He is straight tripping. A lot of people are saying now, for the first time, I'm really hearing people say the rules are the rules. When it first happened, a lot of people were saying, let her run. What about her not being able to run in the relay, even though it's post the 30-day ban? How come she's still not able to run in the relay, even though she doesn't qualify for the opening?
I did hear about that. So
yeah, with the relay, they get, to pick, based on the times or whatever. And from what I heard, and I agree as well, she broke the rules and she was not originally a part of that team. And to put her in that just because she'll be eligible is not fair for the girls who didn't break the rules. So we can't, bend the rules and tweak things just to get her in there when she broke the rules. So she didn't get picked.
All right. So what about this transgender woman? I forget her name. What do you think about her competing against other women in the Olympics? How do you guys feel about that, April?
Okay. So I look at it from this perspective. You still have the strength that you had prior to your assignment surgery. Mm-hmm. And so for that, I'm concerned because you do have an advantage. One of the reasons that they have men, that they don't have men versus women in the Olympics is because of the fact that their strength is different. I mean, men are physically stronger than women. Mm-hmm. And so I understand. I mean, listen, once you have the assignment surgery, you do become whatever it is that you're assigned to, whatever gender you have chosen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I understand where they would want to. I feel that there needs to be maybe an extra category. I know that I might be going too far. Okay, I know I might be going too far with it, and some people might look at me sideways, but I feel that there should be another category for men who've changed to women and vice versa, because you want your strength to match, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little concerned for the women because I don't think that it's fair. But I do understand if that person has, thought that they wanted to be a woman their whole life. I understand why they want to. I understand why they want to be in the Olympics. I just don't think that it's fair that they are competing against people who are much stronger than they are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
100%. It's so funny because I had said that when I discussed it with my husband and my family this weekend. I do believe there should be an extra category. It's like, I get it. And I'm not saying that, she should necessarily be with the men, because I'm sure there's a level of discomfort because she does recognize herself, or what is it that you say, or whatever, as a woman. Mm-hmm. But like you said, the whole physicality of it just isn't fair. That means that any other woman, especially in weightlifting, right? So we're talking about the thing that is about strength. They're coming basically just all competing for the silver. And so I just feel like that's unfair. Mm-hmm. And, something needs to happen. And so a separate category would be good, or we just need to stop separating it from male and female and just everybody compete. But we have to find some way where there's an even playing. Because what happens when this guy who is so desperate just to get a gold medal just decides to say, oh, I'm transgender? You know what I mean? Because people will do anything to get what they want. So we can't say, I mean, I'm not saying that it'll be 500 men, but even if it's one or two, it just makes it unfair. And it's kind of too easy to do that, to say, well, I'm transgender. So yeah, I don't think it's fair.
No, I agree. I mean, but you talk about the rules, and it's okay for the rules to be stretched or changed for people who are transgender, but not in this case where you have, marijuana. And it's an antiquated rule, in my opinion. It's weed. It's something that slows you down. It's not a performance enhancement drug. It's weed. And then for this transgender, first of all, this person, when she was a man, she transitioned in 2013. When she was a man, she competed in and set records as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden,
you already know.
Now all of a sudden, she's a woman and she's competing in the Olympics. He wasn't good enough when he was a man to go to the Olympics. Now he's good enough as a woman to go to the Olympics so that he can really set some records and win some medals. So I don't think it's fair. Also, when you're talking about transgender, unless you do the surgery before they hit puberty, you're always going to have those male hormones.
Yeah.
You're always going to have that strength.
And that's what I was thinking about earlier when I was saying, depending on when you had, as far as the surgery is concerned. Mm-hmm. But I do think that there should be a separate category just for it to be fair.
Yeah.
At what point do we go? Because it's a process, right? With the whole transition. So do we say that you can only compete with the sex that you identify when you've gone this long in the transition? You know what I mean? So it's like somebody who is just transitioning, with no disrespect, that's still a full man with no female, but you're just saying you identify. And so the lines are just too blurred to ever make that fair.
So I wouldn't say that's a full man. I would say I would say that they have male strength. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be.
I'm saying in the very beginning, like the day that you make the decision that I am going to transition. So you make this decision today. You've done nothing to transition. So today you're still a man physically, completely, but in your mind, you identify as a woman, but can you then compete as a woman? That's what I mean. There's just too many nuances to ever make it fair.
I understand.
Exactly.
I agree with a lot of the people are saying that they agree. They agree that there either should be a separation or that they shouldn't compete. I understand that there are people who have lived their whole lives. Number one, if it's a woman, let's say, believing that she's a man, she's lived her whole life wanting to compete in the Olympics, but also feeling like she's a man on the inside, and vice versa. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, then what is it fair for them? But sometimes you just have to make.
And then when you think about it, flip flop. So there's a woman who identifies as a man.
That's what I was going to say.
And her ever even competing.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, it's just all very.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say that, Stay. Like, do you ever see a woman that transitioned to a man ever competing in any type of sports against other men? Because they physically cannot compete. Because even though they transitioned as a man, physically, they are still not as strong as men. They still do not have the testosterone levels that men have, the natural testosterone that men have. So they can't compete naturally. You don't see men transition to women or women who transition to men competing in any type of professional sports in that manner. So, but you do see that, and I do believe, I think it's cheating. I really do, and I believe it's unfair for women who work hard, who are born women, natural women who have to work hard to get to where they are, to come up against somebody who's naturally stronger than them, who's naturally maybe faster than them. This person is this woman is a bodybuilder. She has natural, testosterone body mass. And I read in an article where it says the studies show that while trans women maintain some strength advantage over cis women, it's unclear by how much. So studies show that they do maintain the strength. It also says that although hormone therapy doesn't turn trans women into cis women, so it's clear it doesn't turn them into cis women. It just doesn't. The question is, can trans women and cis women compete against one another in a meaningful competition? And that's a subjective answer.
It would be the equivalent of a woman on steroids, which is illegal. You know what I mean? It's like not even trying to be funny, but that's just the only way I can think about it. And that would not be fair. And so although I'm like, live and let live, I am not against transgender, whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable living this life, do. But when it comes to competition, that's kind of where I draw the line, because that is a whole different ball game. No pun intended.
So we want to know what you guys think.
You're crazy.
We want to know what you guys think. If you want to join the conversation live, hop on with us and have a conversation with us. There is a link in the topic, in the subject line. Go ahead and click on that link and join us live, because we want to hear your opinion. You guys got a whole lot to say on here. We see all your YouTube comments and your Facebook comments. If you want to join us live, click on that link that's in the subject section, and we are happy to have you on the show. Now, thirdly, okay, so the Olympics is on one this year, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So there is this thing where there are Black women that are competing in the swimming category, right? But our hair is a little bit different, and so we have these things called the soul cap, and so what they're saying is they will not allow the soul cap to be a part of the Olympics. What do you think of that?
Well, now this is one where, I'm used to, how people feel about my unpopular opinion. But in the beginning, when I didn't have all the information and trying to just look at everything, in a broad lens, the only way I could see that not being accepted is if there were a certain amount of time where anything introduced new into the Olympics had to be submitted in order for it to be accepted. Because I know with every single thing about the Olympics, it goes through a lot of scrutiny, a lot of tests. You can't just say, oh, well, I'm going to wear these tennis shoes. Oh, I'm going to wear these, whatever. So if it had not been submitted or suggested in time for it to go through whatever it needed to go to the approval, then I could get it for this time and maybe next time. But if it met whatever deadline and went through what it needed to be, then whoever said no is crazy, because clearly our hair needs a little extra, unless you're going to just tell me back to the whole thing that I can't wear my natural hair. Because for most of us with our natural hair, it's not just going to fit into those little teeny weeny swim caps. So why would you want to put me at a disadvantage, or either tell me I have to cornrow my hair down or cut it off in order to compete? That's ridiculous.
What do you think, April?
Didn't they tell Serena that she couldn't wear her skin tight outfit because it was making everybody else uncomfortable? Let me tell you something.
I got Serena.
I am so tired of us having to be like everybody else just for everybody else to be comfortable. Honey, we need to start being a little uncomfortable. Just like you were saying, honey, our hair needs a little bit of extra space. Maybe not mine, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. Like, it just makes my ass itch every single time they talk about the fact that something so small as a swim cap, it's a swim cap. Let us protect our hair. Do you know how hard it is to deal with being in the chlorine water with our hair? Honey, please. Listen, when I had a fro, and if I didn't have a swim cap on when I was up in the water.
So what they're saying, April, is that the reason why they won't allow it is because the swim cap doesn't press down against their natural hair cranial line.
But okay. So here's the thing. One of the reasons that people would wear swim caps in general is because that's supposed to keep their hair back and assist with speed.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. Okay. So realistically, that's going to slow them down, not speed them up. Now, what I think that based on what you just said, is because that's giving them a little bit of extra space just in case they potentially win. Is that what I'm to understand? Because if that's the case, please have many seats. Your hair is not going to make you win. I mean, I'm just saying. It's because they are so fast and they look good doing it once they have that swim cap off. Ladies and gentlemen, have many seats. Just let your soul blow.
So the Olympics are tripping today, you guys. So three things we talking about. We're talking about Miss Sha'Carri Richardson, who they would not allow her to compete in the Olympics because she had a little bit of weed on her. Now, could she have been walking by somebody and got a contact? Could she been in the car with somebody, they were smoking and she got a contact? Could she have been in a house with somebody and got a contact? Or was she smoking them tweeds herself? That's what.
And that's the thing where that kind of stuff really doesn't matter, because it's the same when you're going for a job, and they do that drug test. They're not going to ask you, well, how did it get in your system? And that's, it says to whom much is given, much is required. You have to make sure that you protect yourself at all costs and you stay away. Like, I doubt if she was just walking down the street and somebody had their window down in her car and she got that much weed in her system. I cannot say that the sister was smoking it herself, but to get enough of a contact where it's showing up and register on a test, then that means you were sitting right up under them for a minute and you need to know better.
So do you think that she's going to get any kind of endorsement deals like from Nike or?
Well, Nike said they still support her already.
Okay. So she has her own shoe?
I know all I saw is that Nike just says they still support her, which in my mind means that they're going to do something for her. And just like with Michael Phelps, Michael Phelps was smoking that weed and now he's on there, has endorsements and doing different things for bipolar and mental health because he said that's why he smoked weed. So, I mean, it's not the end of it, but at the end of the day, she did. And the good thing about it is a white guy did do it first. So he kind of opened the door. So I don't think we've heard the last from Miss Sha'Carri because it is a little bit more acceptable. And again, the Olympics has kind of backed back on that as well, where they have shortened that time period to only a 30-day suspension, where that was unheard of back in the day. You just would have been done.
And she is young too. She's young. And so she'll have an opportunity to still compete. I mean, she's 19 years old. So next Olympics rolls around 4 more years, she'll have an opportunity to compete again.
Yeah, I just hope she learns from it. And, it was unfortunate. And I do understand. And this is what I want to say to all the young people out there around weed. Weed does not seem to be that big of a deal anymore. Weed is legal in a lot of places, but there are still things when it comes to jobs and the Olympics and whatever, you have to consider that. You can't say, well, it's legal in my hometown. And even if it's legal in a lot of places, you still need a prescription. So just be smart.
Do they need prescriptions in Texas?
You know what?
It's not legal in Texas at all. To my knowledge.
It's not legal in Texas. Okay.
Wait, you can't even. You really? What if you have like glaucoma or something?
I don't think
cataract. What if you got cataract?
Y'all can't prove it by me because I ain't smoking nothing. But to my knowledge, I don't think it's legal at all.
She said rules are meant to be broken. I mean, you listen, rules are meant to be broken, but when you're going to the Olympics, and this is probably something that she has prepared for her entire life, I think that to your point, the children nowadays, they're like, listen, I want to be free. I want to do me. And a lot of people do so many things without any consequences, or they don't believe that anything will ever happen to them. So this is something that actually puts it in your face. Something can happen to you if you don't follow the rules. Can we go back to the swim cap though? Because I just don't understand. I wish somebody would make it make sense. So can anybody who is out there watching, can one of you just make it make sense why we can't have a soul cap? It doesn't make sense. Anybody, because just because I have a fro, if I have braids in my hair, anything, I don't understand why there's no respect.
Well, a lot of places just had to make it legal for us to even wear our natural hair.
True.
That's a good point.
So we have Michelin Bowman. Michelin,
honey, Michelin. Put a lean on it.
Hey, Michelin, we can't hear you. I think you're muted. Take yourself off mute.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Michelin.
I'm on my phone. I'm on the computer. I'm trying to just get in.
Hey, we appreciate you. So what do you think about the topic, Michelin?
Well, I'm just getting in and I'm seeing April. Anytime I see April's name, I just join. So I was like, hey.
Back on
But let me talk about, I'm gonna talk about April with the swim cap. I'm all for you on the swim cap. What is the issue? And then about the black hair coming out of media for 27 years. Yeah, sisters are finally able to wear their hair. So it doesn't make sense. This is who we are. This is who we always are going to be. And the world needs to recognize that our skin, our hair is always going to be there. And it's not going to hold us back. We're still going to soar.
Do you think this is like an agenda, part of the agenda against Black folks being able to just be, or, compete, or, just not acceptance of us as Black folks?
I would say it's a little of both. We wake up in our skin. We know the color that we are. We know how there's always going to be double and triple standards for everything that we do. But we are the strongest when it comes to athletics. We've proven that in all the sports, literally all of them. And now we're taking over hockey. We're taking over soccer. We've taken over tennis. Ice hockey's coming. I mean, everything. Gymnasts are already there. So there isn't anything that we haven't proven that we are the best at. And it's just unfortunate that the world puts us in pockets and only allows us to be or excel in their eyes. And we know that we excel in everything that we do. So it's never a season. I always tell people of color, it's always our season when we wake up. We just got to wake up and understand that it is always our season for grace and favor.
Hello. Thank you, Micheline. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Now we have BJ. Hey, BJ, what's your thoughts? What do you think?
Hi, how you guys doing? I'm hoping with the swim caps that, like with the Olympics and all this other stuff, it takes them so long to get on board on anything. So hopefully it'll just be that process, because for them to deny them from wearing this does not make any sense. I know with gymnastics, they're starting to want to wear a total unitard. So they have to slowly add that into the process as well. But again, for it to be signaled out for us is ridiculous.
It always is.
Sorry. I also want to talk about Sha'Carri, is that she knows what she did was wrong. She's accepting responsibility for it. But what I've been listening and looking at a lot of these news reports, but they're never saying anything about the reporter who told her, how do you feel about your mom who just died? So what kind of psychological thing are you dealing with the loss of your mother? You can't get nowhere near her. And you got to go out here and do this in 10 seconds. And no one wants to focus on that. Again, I was hoping that she'd be able to do the 4x100, but rules are rules, and we have to follow the rules. Fine. Yeah. But to have no empathy for someone who lost someone who's important to them is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
good.
And that's my little 1 cent, and that's it.
I want to share her interview. She said on TMZ today.
So we kind of figured that they would say that in the first because honestly, that didn't bother me because me and my team were realistic. So we kind of figured that they would say that in the first place. And plus, if my talent is good enough for me to run on a relay, why isn't it good enough for me to run on my open? So
100%.
Right. So yeah, I just leave it at that, honestly. But yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much. Are you going to watch the Olympics? Can I just ask? Are you going to watch the event you would have been in?
I'll be watching some races.
Some races. Yeah. Yours though?
Some races.
Okay. Thank you so much. Cheers.
So I mean, she seemed to be unbothered, by it. She seemed to not, she seemed to be over it. She understood what the consequences were, what the ramifications were, and she seemed to be good with it. She's okay with it.
I think it's more for us.
I see accountability. I mean, it is what it is. You know what you did, and it is what it is. She is dealing with a lot, but the rules are the rules. So it's unfortunate, but I just feel like it's definitely a lesson learned, and she's so young, so we will see her again.
Yeah, she's 19 years old, and I thought she was really stand up. The way she responded, she was real well versed. She took responsibility. And she said, she kind of knew what it was going to be and she was okay with it. And I thought that was great.
And she knows her worth. She knows her talent. I appreciate that. A lot of times people do not point out the fact that they are talented. True child.
Hey, John Jukes, how you doing? Welcome.
Good. Can you hear me?
Good. Yeah, where are you from, John?
Okay, cool. Virginia originally, but I'm in New Mexico right now.
Okay, what are your thoughts?
Well, as far as the swim cap, I see both sides, but you got to remember it's the Olympics, so uniformity. Okay. You got to have uniformity. But I mean, then on the other side, I think it does target the sisters. I don't like that. But if you play in their game, it's their rules. So
what are we supposed to do with our hair?
Well, if you're gonna compete, I'd say you're gonna have to cut it short.
Cornrow it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but some people don't like cornrows. They may not want cornrows. So.
I'm sure they would rather cornrows than cutting it short if they grew it out.
As far as Sha'Carri, she should have. If I was her, that's when you confide with your coach. Hey, that's when you go to your coach. Hey, I'm thinking about my mom just passed. That's what she should have done, but she didn't. However, I think they should let her race. But again, rules are rules. And I know somebody brought up the thing about Mike Phelps. As far as I know of, Mike Phelps did that after, smoked and all that, with the bong and everything. That happened after him winning all those medals and stuff. So he started effing up after the Olympics.
Well, what do you think about what do you think about the transgender competing against women?
From what I've heard from other trans women that I personally know, I'm not a part of that community, but I do know some trans individuals, and they have said that trans women have more strength naturally than biological women. They they don't have as much strength as other men, especially when they're on the hormones and stuff. But they do have more strength than biological women. That's a fact. And so I don't think, I think that they should have their own Olympics or their own little category, whatever, but competing against women. Yeah. I mean, I believe there was I think it was MMA. They showed like a trans woman fighting in MMA, and the way she knocked out those biological, that's effed up.
Right. That was brutal. That was brutal.
Yeah. So.
Did you guys ever see those clips of that trans woman that was an MMA fighter just whooping them women? I mean, just punishing them. It was crazy. It didn't make no sense.
Take MMA anyway, let alone that.
Yeah, it was just like a man beating up a woman. It didn't even make no sense. It really didn't. Thank you for hanging out with us, John. Yeah. We appreciate you.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So you guys, for everybody that's watching, if you want to join us live, we are talking about the Olympics. Are they tripping? We have Sha'Carri, who was kicked out basically of the Olympics for smoking a little weed. We got the transgender woman who is competing against other women, and they're saying that it's unfair. And then we also have these soul caps where the Olympics will not allow Black women to wear these soul caps, these caps that are made for women who have, thick, curly, coily hair in the Olympics that are swimming. Black women or Black people are dominating all parts of the Olympics. We used to didn't really, do water sports, or we didn't really do, the Winter Olympics that much like the others did. But now we're starting to we're coming in and we're dominating every category now. And so now we're starting to swim. Did you know that 90% of Black adults do not swim and 80% of Black children do not swim?
Wow.
Really?
Yes, it's crazy. Have you ever seen that meme of all the Black people at the pool party? Ain't nobody getting in
the pool.
Nobody's in the pool.
That's so true. But I love, if you listen, a pool party, I would be the first one in the pool. Yeah.
April, I love the water.
Yeah, but a lot of us don't swim. So now we're starting to dominate. And so we need to have stuff that's specifically for us. A lot of things weren't designed for us, but now, hey, we here and we need to be able to perform at a high level as well. We need to have what we need to support us, to sustain us. So if you guys want to jump on with us, go ahead and click the link that's in the topic section. Come on with us and join us. We got so many people who are commenting right now, and make sure we didn't tell you this, to make sure you hit the thumbs up, make sure you're liking and you're sharing out this, because we love to have engaging conversations about different topics. And today we're talking about the Olympics. What do you say, Miss April Sampay, about all the stuff that we were talking about today? What you got to say about this?
Stay was actually talking about how people are just getting comfortable with Black women, or Black people in general, showcasing their hairstyles, right? And it's so true. Like, I actually went through that back when I was in my banking days, where I had to completely change my hairstyle to make everybody else feel comfortable. And I think that we're in a time now where we need to stop doing that. And for us to be able to do something as small as changing a swim cap, I think that that's something that should be understood. I do understand as far as the rules are concerned when it comes to the weed smoking. Okay, listen, unfortunately, when it comes to the Olympics, they're not accepting it. Don't smoke. Rules are rules. As it relates again to the transgender situation, I understand that she wants to compete. I understand that. She probably grew up wanting to do that her whole life. As you said before she was assigned as a woman, she was actually competing as a man. And so that tells you something. This has been her life's dream. So I get it. I understand that this is what you want to do, but you also should be fair. And, I think what would be fair is to have a separate category for transgender. And I also think that it would be fair for, just like you all said, women who are assigning as men. So now they're men, but they don't have the same strength as men. They might want to compete in the Olympics as well.
They got to qualify.
Right, but that's my point. So if you had a separate category for them, I think that would be more fair, and they would actually be able to compete for people who have wanted to do it their whole lives.
Y'all, look at this. Check this out here. Somebody said, what about the women who were kicked out of the Olympics for having high testosterone levels? So I started Googling it. I Googled that shit. If you don't know anything about Googling that shit, look at my TED Talk. I talk about Googling that shit. But check this out, y'all. I just GTS this. And there were actually 2 African women who were kicked out of the Olympics for having high testosterone. They were ruled ineligible because they had high testosterone levels.
Right. So then
testosterone levels were detected during medical assessments, and they had no idea. This says they had no idea that they had these high testosterone levels, and these were natural. These are women that had high testosterone levels that were kicked out of the Olympics. But yet, you can have a transgender compete against women.
That is
one is a choice. I might get dragged for saying that, but I don't know what other word to use. One is a difference. It's a change. Let's not say it's a choice, but it's a difference. The other one is just natural. So again, how is that fair? But then if they do make something separate, still, where do you put the ones with the high testosterone levels? I mean,
they're women though, but they're natural born women.
They are. And so that's something that you can't help. There's nothing that you can do about it. No choice that you can make. And that's why this stuff gets so blurry. It's like you have to be fair. And if a natural born woman who intends on continuing to be a woman cannot compete just because of a testosterone level, then there's no way that someone born of a man should be able to compete with women. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
And sometimes, just like with us as Black people, I'm sorry, April, for so long we have had to wait just to do the things that everybody else can do. And so now with everyone embracing the transgender and the LGBTQ community and all that, but it's still relatively new, some things, unfortunately, y'all just gonna have to wait. Just wait. It can be worked out, because we've been waiting a long time just to survive, and we still haven't gotten to that point. And so with everything, it takes patience. Change takes patience. And so instead of just jumping on there and just saying, well, if they identify as a woman and they're transgender, they should be able to do it. No, let's stop, pause, think this out on what's going to be fair. And maybe some people are just going to have to wait, because there are many Black people who have given their lives and gone on before us who never got their opportunity, and there's some of us still waiting. And so I don't think it's different with any other community. Sometimes you just gotta wait.
Well, just like the other gentleman said, Ziggy, I think that was his name. He was saying that he had some transgender friends, and I actually have some transgender friends that kind of feel the same way. They're saying, I don't think that it's fair because they know their strength. And some of my friends have transitioned from male to female. Listen, when I tell you fabulous in every single way, but you can have those conversations if you talk to them, and they've told me the same thing. They don't feel like it's fair because they know their own personal strength.
Yeah. So I'm a little nervous about never mind. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. So in any case, I'm not gonna do it. Y'all, I don't know. Somebody was trying to get on here and I think they was gonna try to do something they wasn't supposed to do. So I'm not gonna let them get on here. So in any case,
oh, that's a good one. This is like them sharing the bathroom with us. That's what Lanisha Francis said. What do y'all think?
What do you think about that, though? What do you think about a trans woman sharing the bathroom with you?
I personally don't have a problem with it. Okay.
See, I do have a problem with it. And again, nothing against transgender, nothing. But again, it's too easy for someone to pretend. Mm-hmm. That's my thing. It's just too easy for someone to pretend who has ill intentions. And that's why I feel like there should be room made for people who are transgender. I have no problem with that, but I just feel like there's just too much room, because then what do? Like, it's not like there's any ID you can show. There's not like, and so I just feel like there are too many weirdos out there, not the transgender people. They are not weirdos. Let me be clear, but there are some weirdos out there who can just try to jump on that bandwagon to do that they don't have any business doing.
So let's, I know that we're not necessarily talking about this particular subject, but have you all seen the video of a trans man who has not completely been, a trans woman who has not completely been assigned yet, who exposed herself in a spa in California?
No.
Okay, so supposedly they were in a spa, and a trans woman walked into the woman's area and exposed herself, but she still had a penis. Okay. So in a situation like that, I have a problem.
Right.
And let me tell you why I have a problem. I do not have a problem because she exposed her penis. I have a problem because if I walked around and exposed my vagina, somebody would have a problem with it. So I don't care what the situation is. I don't want anybody exposing anybody's anything to anyone. I don't care what you have, and I also don't care how you identify. I want to see what you are working with in your genital area.
And I'm with the both of you, and I'm with you mostly stay on. I don't want to share bathrooms with someone who has not had the gender assignment surgery, especially me being a mother of 4 children, right? I go to the bathroom and somebody comes out there and they can be weird. You just don't know, because there are people who are weirdos who do things just to be weird. I know that I remember a story a long time ago. Somebody went to a rest stop and they sent their son to go use a bathroom, and their son got murdered in the bathroom. There's just weirdos out there. You just don't know. And you just have to be really careful. So, me taking my kids to the bathroom, running the risk of having them come out and see someone of the opposite sex expose themselves. I don't want to take that chance. So I think that the gender neutral bathrooms are good. Let's build more bathrooms, but I just don't feel comfortable sharing a bathroom, especially being a mother of 4 children at all.
So I'll tell you all why I guess I don't really care, because I'm that person that when there's a long line in the ladies' room, honey, I will walk right into the men's room and be like, what you doing?
And I've done that as well. Funk Fest, Virginia Beach.
It's only fair. Like, fair.
But that's a choice. You know what I mean? So I know when I walk in that men's bathroom, what I might see, and I put myself in that situation, and I got my husband or my girl Adrian out there guarding the door for me. But it's different when you go in unassuming and you're walking into the woman's bathroom and there next to you is someone exposed, trans, but they still have male genitalia. You had no idea. But when I walk in this situation, knowing that there's penises in there or peni, what is it? Is it penises or peni in there? Then I put myself in that situation.
But so that's where you're talking about. Okay, so I understand that, but how do they feel? You get what I'm saying? So you're looking at it from, okay, well, how does this make me feel personally? But are you taking them into to consideration? So, and I'm not even talking about anybody who is transgender. I'm just saying a man, period. So if you walk into a men's room, and
some men have been upset. I have been told off. I ain't gonna lie.
But I'm just saying, like, so women will walk into a men's room faster than you can breathe. So is it fair that they can't walk into a women's room? Oh, we're sorry, honey. How you doing?
We got a whole guest. I'm sorry.
I'm doing good. I didn't know if my audio was on. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Hey, Viva, what's your name and where you from?
My name is DJ, and I'm in Washington right now.
Hey,
Washington State or Washington, D.C.?
Washington State. Very, very, very far. No.
You all right anyway. Sorry.
Okay, so what's going on? What's your thoughts on this, DJ?
My thought in regard to the comparison, right? You have an individual who she's not allowed to participate because of the marijuana, but you have an individual who does, in fact, by all accounts, have an unfair advantage in the Olympics. Now, I know that they have their standards, which they definitely have to impose, but it is kind of peculiar, right? She was disallowed for 30 days, something like that, long enough to where she can still participate in the group. She can be a group participant where the entire team stands out, as opposed to her and her own image standing alone and possibly winning. She's like the fastest person, like the 5th fastest woman in the world, and I don't know, in a long time. So there's a very high chance that she'd win the gold. So they're removing her individual opportunity to shine and show that, hey, this woman who you would typically stereotype or typecast are usually when there's like some demonstrably black character that's in television shows, when you want to denigrate black women, you would show someone who looks like her, as opposed to seeing her in the Olympics and then she's shining and she's winning. So I don't know. I understand that she definitely did break the rules, but what about 15 days or something, just to illustrate the point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then going back to what you talked about, with the transgender, you have these women who are from Africa, who are naturally born women, who have high testosterone levels and were ineligible because these are women.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does all, because as a woman, I don't care what my blood shows you, as long as it's nothing illegal. I mean, I don't care if you show me to have 2% alien blood. That's not a rule. So it's like, whatever it is, and I'm a woman and I'm not on any drugs, then to me, that's irrelevant, because we're all made up differently.
But doesn't that make you think that they're more concerned about the LGBT agenda than they are, Black people in general? Don't you think that if they would allow a trans person to be in the Olympics, but they won't allow a natural born woman to be in the Olympics because her testosterone levels are high, doesn't that say something?
That's true. I mean, there's no way that you can look at that any different. Yes, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's any way, there's always a way for them to get around just saying this is what it is. What you do is you just make a rule.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think that. I mean, the whole Olympics needs to just be thrown away anyway, in my opinion, because the Olympics is no longer what it once was. Not to even say that I agree, but this whole thing, which it is my dream, my Martin Luther King dream, that one day we are not going to know who's who and what's what. People are just people. I cannot wait till bloodlines and everything are so diluted, because I'm just tired. I'm tired of the separation. I'm tired of all of that. So I just really want us to be one nation under a groove, honestly. But the Olympics is this whole thing, country against country and whatever. And there's none of that anymore. It was brought to my attention the other day that there was an article on Yahoo News about, for the first time ever, the American team beat the Chinese chess team for the first time ever. But then when you see the picture of the American chess team, everybody on there is Chinese. Like, I don't get it. So it's like, there's so many. When you look at the USA figure skating, I mean, it's people from all different countries. People move wherever, they get trained there, they get citizenship. So this whole thing, a country against country, which wasn't the best thing in the world anyway, doesn't even exist anymore. So now that we have the transgender group and they don't want us to wear the soul caps, then let's just throw the whole Olympics away and start from scratch and build some type of competition that really is fair.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I'll go with that too, because the Olympics is so outdated. I mean, it is. Come on now, we need to have different games. I mean, you know, different sports, there's so many reasons that.
I only watch track and field anyway, so they should just throw everything else out and just have track and field.
See, and me, I watch everything. I watch track and field. Figure skating is my best. I watch curling. Like, I just love competition. But the whole thing when they say, oh, introducing the Italian team or the American team, and it's like, you look under there, oh, all the teams look alike. Mm-hmm. It's like, these are not really countries competing, which is a great thing, but let's just change the whole scope of it and just come up with some other kind of competition.
I personally know somebody who's running for, I think she's running for China. I personally know someone, a friend of mine's daughter is running for China, and she's a beast, honey. I'm afraid of what's about to happen because we might lose.
She's not Chinese.
No.
Right. And that's the whole, which is cool with me, but let's just come up with a different kind of competition. Let's just call it something else, do it right. So then that way we make room for everybody.
Yeah. Well, you know, listen, we dominate on mostly everything anyway. And that's the bottom line. I think it's just ways to move us out. Remember Tommy Smith, San Jose State, my hometown, San Jose, when he put up that black fist and lost the medals. What ended up happening to the medals though? Did that mean that the US no longer had the medals, or did they just lose the medals?
No, I mean, if a competitor for the US lost it, then that means the US lost it.
The US stripped them of the medals.
Yeah, so that, I mean, because the medal itself is nothing if you won. So
right.
I know I held that record at West Mifflin Area High School in the 400 and the 4x4 relay for many years, and somebody came and took that time, but I still won.
There you go. But see, I think with conversations like this and with things happening like this, I think that's when you see real change come. Until you see more Black people that are, you know, swimming that are competing in events like swimming or, you know, bobsledding, like the Jamaica bobsled team, things like that, then you won't really see real change. So we have to just get outside the box and start doing different things, because whatever we get into, we end up dominating. Just like you said, we dominate. Who said that? Your friend earlier, April. We dominate on everything. Michelin. We dominate on everything. We dominate in soccer. We dominating on hockey now. You know, everything that we put our minds to, we just do. And so now, you know, they're gonna have to make room for us. Period. But I think that you know, the whole agenda to get naturally born men who've had gender assignment surgeries to become women to compete against women is not okay. In my opinion, that is not okay. That is never okay. I don't think it should be done. I think they do definitely need their own category. It's so funny how everybody is so careful because we don't want to offend, but at the end of the day, I think it's wrong. Period.
But to be honest, so prior to this, I did not know that I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, right? And then next thing you know, you hear about so many people who are competing or who are trying to compete. I'm like, wait, when did this become a thing? How did this become a thing? That it's multiple people trying to compete in the Olympics. You know what I mean?
What do you mean multiple people?
There were so many people who were trying out for the Olympics who were born men who have been assigned women. I didn't think that would have been the case. I thought maybe like one or two.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how critical it is for people to win these damn races. I have kids, right? And so what parents will do is they will hold their children back in grades so that their kids can have an advantage so they could compete against kids that are younger than them so that they can dominate.
No.
Oh yeah, it's that serious. No, really. I mean, anybody who has kids that are in AAU, that are in sports and things like that, parents hold their kids back in grades so that their kids could be in lower grades so that they can compete with kids that are younger than them so that they can dominate. So people do anything. When I say anything, they will do anything to win. It's just the bottom line. And you will see, weirdos probably go as far as get a gender, because there's people that are crazy to get gender assignment surgery to go and compete. I'm not saying this is the case for, most normal people, but there are people out there that are really, really crazy that will do something like that so that they can compete.
That is horrible. But again, I think you all were talking about it the other way around. Women who were born women who have been assigned man, who are now transgender to a man.
Mm-hmm.
No, why are we not hearing anything about them? We're not hearing
because they're not athletically superior. They're
right. They can't even get to that point where they're to the Olympics because you have to qualify.
See, look at what KRS Burke said. That's like Sha'Carri acting slow to get in the Special Olympics. Exactly. Just so we compete.
I agree with you. If that's the reason why they're doing it, that's one thing. People who aren't doing it for that reason, like I said, I understand. And no, I'm not. I'm actually not trying to skate around it. I'm just making a point. Like, I understand those people who have wanted to do that their whole lives, and then they also wanted to be a woman or whatever the case was.
Mm-hmm.
I understand it from both sides. But if you're only doing it just so you can compete,
there are weirdos out there, y'all.
I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just you don't think about that because you just don't. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay. What do you all think? Is there nobody else who wants to tell me about how they feel about it? I just want to know. And is everybody like pressing that like?
Yes, make sure you press the like button. But if you want to hop on and join us and talk about the topic, we got a few more minutes that we're going to be on here. Come on and join us and talk to us about these crazy Olympics. And yes, people will do anything that they can to get a medal, to get a certificate, to get that first place ribbon. People will do whatever to do that. I'm serious. People, they will cheat, they will lie, they will steal, they will do whatever because it makes them feel good about themselves. People will even change their sex. And I'm not saying that anybody I've seen or anybody on here has done that, but people are crazy enough to do that. So what are your thoughts? Jump on here with us. Go ahead and click that link that's in the top subject bar. And if you want to join us and talk about it, come on and talk about it with us. And if you have, if you have kids that are in AAU or kids that compete competitively, have you seen, stuff like that? Parents holding their kids back so that they can compete. Yeah, see? They know all about it.
Listen, I appreciate Caitlyn Jenner though. Caitlyn Jenner went ahead and got when Caitlyn Jenner was a man. Caitlyn Jenner went ahead and got all of these gold medals, and then decided to make the change.
Yeah.
I can respect you, Caitlyn. I can respect you.
But and that's the thing is when this person was a man, oh my God, they're gonna ban me. When this person was a man, I'm referring to him when he was a man. This is so difficult. He competed against other men and won.
That's what makes this even more unfair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just had gender assignment surgery in 2013. So that means he still, this is after puberty. He still, has a testosterone. He still has a strength of a man. I mean, she still, y'all, this is just too much.
It takes some getting used to. It's okay.
This is too much. But I mean, it's just unfair for women. Just like somebody said about the MMA fighter that was brutally beating the shit out of them women. Oh my God. You should have seen how it was crazy. And then you have these two African women who have high testosterone levels that they would not allow to compete in the Olympics.
That right there is ridiculous.
Come on.
It doesn't matter. So let's just pause for a second. And somebody will hate me for this one. But Venus and Serena. When Venus and Serena first started, I know. Did anybody ever check their testosterone level? And I'm not. Again, I love me some Venus and Serena, but I'm just saying that they were very, very, very muscular. when they were very young. You know what I mean? So did we ever take that time out, or were we just saying, okay, well, we want to target these people? Or were we checking this from back then?
I'm not sure how that showed up. I'm not sure if that's just something that shows up in a regular blood test or if that's something they were looking for, because if it's something they were looking for, then they should be looking for it with everybody. But I don't know exactly how that went down. I knew it happened, but I'm not educated on exactly how they found that out.
I just feel that that's unacceptable, because there are a lot of very, very muscular. I mean, I'm just saying that she looked very muscular. You know what I mean?
I would liken her to Serena. I mean,
That's the only reason I said it, because Venus and Serena were just as muscular, if not more. So were we looking at them side-eyed? I'm just saying, and I wouldn't look at them side-eyed. I don't think anybody else would, because they were born women.
So yeah. But you have to think about it as well. And I don't know the time frame, but like we've said a bunch of times on here tonight, is we do dominate in so many things, which will make them start looking for stuff. Mm-hmm. So it might have been something that they weren't thinking about with Venus and Serena, but it's like, okay, let's just start looking for everything, because we do dominate. It's like, we don't have the exposure to a lot of these different sports and things, but bring it in the neighborhood and let our kids learn how to do it, and we're going to kill at it. And so, they'll start looking for anything. And so it may have been something that wasn't thought of until it was like, because they want to find out a reason why we're faster, stronger, bigger. Mm-hmm. So they're going to start digging into everything. So it's just like, yeah, hold on to your hats. And that's why I knew too, when it came to Sha'Carri, there was no way in the world they were going to let her slide. And when the young man said 30 days, why not 15 days? But the thing is, 30 days, at least we can say, is the rule. So the only way we can complain about that is if there is a young white lady who is and they let her go. But 30 days is the rule. So we can't complain. But, we just got to be careful, because as we start branching out into all these different sports, and, look at how we're now killing with Simone Biles, when, back when I was coming up, it was Mary Lou Retton, and Simone can flip all up down one side and the other of Mary Lou Retton. You know what I mean? So it's like we're coming up and we're doing things that not only are we winning, we're doing things that have never been done. So they're going to be looking for any and everything.
Yeah. Well, there was somebody, Kimmy was saying they took these ladies' blood tests without asking. And if that's the truth, that is unacceptable, that you would take their blood test. And so are you going around taking everybody else's? You know what I mean? It's unfair. And so to your point, Constance, make it make sense, make it fair. Why is it for one side, it's not fair? So one side you're saying, okay, for smoking weed, and on another side, you're not smoking weed. You're saying that these people are, they have natural testosterone. And then on another side, you're saying these people were born men. Why is that fair? That doesn't make sense.
But also we have to look at the skin color of those people too, not to make everything racist, but you have to look at the skin color.
A lot of times it is, because when you get black folks in there, that's when the rules start changing.
Right. I mean, well, look at Tiger Woods. They tried to Tiger-proof the golf courses. Everything was fine, but now Tiger's starting to do it. So let's see what we can do. Not so that everybody else can be better. Let's just not let Tiger, as much as they love Tiger.
But check this out, y'all. Check this out. Here's the video of the transgender woman who broke the skull. She broke somebody's skull, y'all. Okay. Okay, now check this out. This is her, transgender MMA fighter who broke female opponent's skull. Okay.
And I don't know how she feels good about that. I'm not even gonna lie. Because your makeup, how you
people will do anything to win a medal.
That's what I'm saying. It's not right.
It's just ridiculous.
Right. And someone had asked earlier, so if a transgender woman beats a, genetically born woman, are they charged as a man? But that's the unfortunate thing. Like if this is just on the street, assault is assault. You know what I mean? So there is no gender difference in assault. So assault is assault. And so no, they're not going to be charged any differently. I mean, it's, if you kill someone, you beat someone, it's assault, no matter what.
Right.
I'm sorry. Back to the MMA fight. The person whose skull was broken, she did live, right?
Yeah.
No, okay, because we need to pray for her. Okay.
But can you see how, just like the subject said, the title said, are we getting too politically correct? Like, you want to be acceptance of everybody, but come on.
But
Men
that's
and women are just different.
Make room, and sometimes room means you wait for your own room.
Right.
And it's not in so many different things. There's segregation does have its place where, just like men and women, how long was it before a woman could even step foot on a football field, whether it was the kicker or the coach, whatever? Now we're just starting to see that. The whole transgender thing, as far as history goes and people coming out as that, is relatively new. So why are we automatically just jumping in and saying, okay, you have all these rights, you can do this? So we need
and people get hurt or killed in the mix, and it's not going to stop until somebody ends up getting killed.
Yeah, and it's not fair.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
Rights are rights, but when it comes to sports, it's not that deep. Like, why, it's not like we're saying you don't have the right to speak up for yourself. You don't have the right to eat in a restaurant. That's completely different. But when you're talking about competition, like we were talking about with schools, we do not let 5-year-olds compete with 15-year-olds. And there's a reason.
No, your point is valid. But again, and I'm not even looking at it from a sex perspective. I'm looking at it just from, me, right? I, like, my whole life, I've always wanted to entertain. I've always wanted to be on stage. I've always wanted to perform, right? So if somebody said, okay, well, because you have short hair, you can't be a performer, I would be devastated. I'm just trying to make a point here. So for them, some of these people are like, I've always wanted to be a woman, and I've always wanted to compete in the Olympics. So I understand. You have to. I mean, I feel that everybody has to be able to understand that. For the people who haven't changed just because I'm saying it doesn't make it right. But I would think that we would at least, to your point, compete with people who are on your level. You should want to compete with somebody on your level.
Things that come about. Like I said, as Black people, human beings, no different from anybody else. All we wanted to do was be able to use the water fountain and sit wherever we wanted to do on the bus. And
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna say right now, their plight is not our plight, and I don't care. I don't give a damn. I don't care who I offend, but that plight is not the Black plight, and I hate when people
that's my whole point. I'm saying if we, who should have had all the same rights from day one, are still waiting, then they should be able to wait as well. That's
absolutely. My point. Rosemary said, "Man, they are human, just like everybody else. What's the problem? People trip off the wrong things in life. No, we're tripping off of biological differences.
Well,
that's what we're talking about.
Competition.
Okay. But that's like it makes sense
in competition, right?
Baby, that's funny. Rosemary, that baby in the picture is beautiful. If that's your child,
Rosemary's baby.
I know, that's why I was like, that's good. Anyway, if your child is competing against somebody who is physically stronger than them, but they weren't born the same sex, and they're competing against them, and it's not fair, would you be okay with that when it comes to your child? And then how does your child's self-esteem, what level of self-esteem does your child have at this point? Your child's self-esteem will be a lot lower than it would be if they were competing against people who they're able to compete against. Mm-hmm. So look at it from that perspective.
That's like even in boxing, you have lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight. I mean, there's a reason why these things are in place. And even in a lot of kids sports, it's 10 years old or 150 pounds. So even if you're 10, if you're over 150 pounds, you can't do it because we can't compete. Right. We want to make it as a level playing field as possible. The whole thing is about competition, and there is no competition if someone walks on the field, on the court, in the ring, and they're already dominant from the onset. That's not a competition.
David said she should not have fought her. Stop it. She got in the ring. You know what? You're right. I don't think she knew that she was going to get that skull broken, but I'm sure ain't nobody else came behind her and fought that transgender.
Because I am a tough girl. I'm a tough girl. I mean, there's not much I'm going to back down from. But if you tell me, and I know from the onset that this person was genetically born as a man, yeah, I'm the white flag. I'm not doing that. I'm not putting myself in harm's way just to win a couple of bucks. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, ain't nobody. I'm not doing it either. But people will do anything they could get for that first place ribbon. I'm trying to tell you, in people's minds, that's the end all be all. People will do some crazy things just.
Yeah, then I'm mad when I walk in the ring with a gun.
Huh?
Then everybody mad at me. I said, and then I'm wrong when I walk in the ring with a gun. I'm like, y'all.
You bust my skull, I'm gonna bust a cap in your ass. How about that?
But can I say something? So again, going back to people's children, they're taking away scholarships from people's children because they're giving it to people who are stronger, or who are running faster, or who are doing whatever. And it just so happened that they might have been born a male. They might be a woman now.
Somebody said that this person in the Olympics was a hermaphrodite, and there's nothing that I've read that said that she was a hermaphrodite. So I don't think that's true. But what do you say about the people who were born with both genders, the hermaphrodites?
I mean, for that, I think that they should be able to compete with whatever they're assigned as when they were born, because typically what happens is their parents have them assigned as a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and when things start to go down before puberty, there is a difference, and that's something I think about a lot. When it's something where a choice had to be made because of the way you were born, then that's different, and that choice is made early and for you. Then I just feel like whatever that choice was, then that's what you are. But there is still a difference when you look at people who are hermaphrodites and made a choice versus transgender. They don't even look the same.
You know what, Stay? You are so smart. You are so freaking smart. And I want to let people know how smart you are. Where are you at, Stay?
I am a life coach, certified soft skills trainer, motivational speaker, and author. I am Stay Hall. I help people elevate their leadership skills and boost their emotional intelligence, all the while giving them the resources and tools they need to reach the level of success they desire and deserve. And as a result of working with me, my clients are able to achieve their goals and operate at their highest self and live their best life.
How many of you want to operate at your highest and best self and achieve your goals?
I'm going to be a lifer.
Listen, the LYFE tribe, you go ahead and follow Miss Stay Hall. How can they find you, Miss Stay Hall, and follow you in your groups?
They can find me on just about all social media at Stay Hall. So at STAEHALL. And you can also go to stayhall.com and get connected that way. And that is where I am, at Stay Hall.
You guys, make sure you follow Stay Hall. And you know what? Listen, my girl, April Sampe, she is so freaking dope. And I think if those people in the Olympics, if they learn from her, they be running faster. They be jumping higher. They be working harder. They will be excellence in action, all because they work with April. How many of y'all want to become vegans?
Oh, yeah.
So what are you doing? Because I know you have a new cohort coming up with your Veg Out and Dine. What are you doing?
Too. I have a class coming up. Listen, Vegan Fundamentals. It's going to be August 3rd, I think it is. And you can find out all of that information at www.vegoutandDine.com. Also, if I think I have one more space left for anybody who is looking to come out and hang with us at Wellness on the Beach. Honey, we are going to shake it fast, watch ourselves drop down, get our eagles on, put our
show us what you're working with, baby.
We're going to do it all. Seriously. And we're going to have an amazing vegan chef who's going to be making all of our amazing dishes. So follow me everywhere at Veg Out and Dine. And aprilsampe.com. You can go to aprilsampe.com or aprilsampe. Listen, follow me either place. I'm everywhere.
That is so dope. And you guys, listen, I am so excited because I'm doing a retreat in Costa Rica next year. It's called the Weekend of Wealth Retreat, and I'm super excited about it. What can you expect if you go to this retreat? You would expect one of the most incredible adventures of your life. It's an all-inclusive experience that you're going to share with other men and women who are ready to go to the next level of their life. You have no idea what you can expect. Is you can expect new friendships. You can expect to uncover new insights about yourself that you never even knew before. You can expect to adopt a positive mindset, learn new skills, learn how to build your wealth and create sustainable legacies for your children. Because, you know, the Bible says that a wise man leaves an inheritance for their children and their children's children. Not only that, we're going to be at this dope ass mansion. How many of you guys want to come play with me in Costa Rica next year in June of 2022? Yes. So listen, go to weekendtowealth.com. And you know what? For the people who are listening tonight, I think I'm going to DM me on I am Constance Carter on IG. If you're interested, I'm going to give you $1,000 off for the people who are listening. $1,000 off. $1,000 off the retreat, whether you want to do payment plan or you want to do the pay in full. I have both options available, and you have 10 months to pay the whole thing off if you wanted to do. If you sign up today, but I'll give you $1,000 off for those who want to do it. It's going to be absolutely amazing. It's all inclusive. It's going to be life changing, transformational, and I am so excited about it. So you guys, DM me on I am Constance Carter on IG. Yes, April Sampay.
Where can people buy your books though?
Oh, my books. They can go to Amazon. Thank you, April Sampay. They can go to Amazon. I have a few best-selling books. I am a best-selling author. And if you want to change your life, go to Amazon.com and look for me. Go to Keeping Score, What You Need to Know to Make Your Credit Score Grow, and The Secret to Breaking the Broke Code. I went from broke, busted, disgusted, bankrupt, car foreclosures, homeless, to owning the largest African-American owned real estate firm in California. Co-working space and event center, helping thousands of people get their lives together and build wealth. So if you want to be a part of the movement, purchase my books first and then sign up for the retreat. It's going to be amazing. And you guys, listen, you guys have any last words about what we talk about the Olympics?
We just good. So we just good. So get ready. We got to stay on our toes, on our P's and Q's, because whatever it is that we do that they don't like, they're going to shoot it down. So just follow the rules.
What you think, Miss April?
I got too many thoughts to even go there. Listen, yes, to your point, say follow the rules. Make other rules for transgender so that everybody can compete and everybody can be happy. And can we please get some swim caps that fit over a good old pro?
Just throw the Olympics away and start over.
I'm gonna tell you this. I love everybody. Why do we always have to say this? Because we got to say it. But I'm just saying, I think there's a difference, and I think we should be very careful. You know, as we are being more inclusive of everybody, we have to be very clear and very careful of how we are naturally made biologically. You know, you have women and you have men. And I think in those situations, when you're competing, when you're fighting, things like that, people can get really hurt. Men and women should not compete in the same category. And even if you are, you have been assigned a different gender, you still have an advantage. And I don't think it's fair. I also think about Sha'Carri. Girl is young. God bless her. She had so much grace. I could appreciate her coming out and saying, you know what? I kind of expected it. I know what it is. I know I can still get out there and do it in 4 more years. I'll be, in my early 20s. She's going to kill it. So hopefully this is a lesson. Hopefully she could just, take it on the chin and keep going. I commend her. And you know what? The Olympics just need to quit tripping. Bottom line.
Pretty much.
Bottom line. I love you guys. I so enjoy talking to you guys every Wednesday night.
Definitely.
Yes. Right back at you.
All right. Take care and God